Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant basketball analysis on Analysis Playground. Of course, it's on YouTube exclusively. We gonna talk about the Detroit Pistons getting into an overtime game versus the Washington Wizards. Man, this was a crazy one. It was all over the place. And Detroit defense was so terrible. They made it harder on themselves because they were just giving the Wizards open shots. And these are NBA players. You can't do that throughout the entire game and expect to win. But they picked it up defensively in the fourth quarter, and that carried over a little bit. They still made a lot of mistakes into the OT period. But CJ McCollum had some opportunities, and he basically never came through sometimes in this game, but he did majority of the time. But it just wasn't enough. He was talking like he was going to close it for him, but it just didn't happen that way. And Jalen Duren, the free throw shooting, never been one of his strongest things about his game. But he missed a lot of free throws and gave the Wizards a couple more opportunities to be able to steal this one. But the Wizards did win the first quarter 37-36. But the Pistons won the second quarter 31-24. So the Pistons won going into halftime. And then the Wizards won the third quarter 35-20. You would think that the game might be over at that point. But the Pistons rebounded and ended up winning the fourth quarter 40-31. And in OT, the Pistons won 10-8. So that's how they ended up finishing this one when it comes to scoring. And let's actually talk about the Wizards first. Chris Middleton, I don't know what he was doing, but he played 26 minutes. He only had 6 points. He was the only starter to not get in double figures in the 26 minutes that he played. But he also had 3 rebounds, and 2 of them was offensive with 2 assists and 3 steals. 2 turnovers, 3 of 10 from the field, 30%, 0 of 3 from 3%, 0 of 3 from the 3-point line, 0% there. 4 personal fouls and a -10 and plus minus. He's still showing you that he can help here and there. But you can make an argument, should Chris Middleton be starting for this Washington Wizard team? Keyshawn George, he didn't really have the greatest game considering that this was an overtime game. 29 minutes, he had 14.6 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 of those offensive with a block and 3 turnovers. I didn't really have much of a problem with what he was doing, but he just missed a lot of easy shots. 5 of 10 from the field, 50%, 1 of 5 from 3, 20%, 3 or 4 from the free throw line, 75%. He did have 5 personal fouls also. He was a +3 and plus minus. He's showing you that he's trying to make the right decisions when he has the ball in his hands, but he doesn't really have go-to moves that you really respect or fear right now in his career. So it's kind of like, I'm not really worried about you doing anything that's going to surprise me besides if you actually make the shot. That's where he's at right now in his career. You can say the same thing about Alexandre Sarr. He's a guy that as long as he's not by the basket, you rather him take those type of shots. That's where he's at right now in his career. He played 37 minutes, had 15 points, 15 rebounds. 2 of them was offensive, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, 7 of 16 from the field, 43%. 1 of 5 from 3, that's 20%. And he attempted no free throws in the entire game that he played. And he did have 5 personal fouls, and he was a -4 and plus minus. He did some good drives. He did some good rebounds, and he did also hit his 3. But Alexandre Sarr, he's starting to find stuff out. He's starting to get more comfortable. He's starting to handle a little bit better. I still say he's a better defensive player than he is an offensive player. But that just shows you how hard it is to score in this league. No matter how tall and how long you are, you still got to develop all the skills to be at your best, especially against the good teams in the league, which I count the Pistons as one of those right now. CJ McCollum, 43 minutes, 42 points for him, 6 rebounds, 1 on his offensive, 4 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnover. It looked like he was going to close the game out for them to get their second win of the season. For people that don't know, the Wizards are 1-10 and 1-5 at home. So, well, 1-5 on the road. But if I had to be honest, he was doing a lot of things right, and he was really cold-blooded in this game, but he missed a key shot that could have sent it into double overtime. 14 of 25 from the field, 56%, 5 of 10, 50%, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, 81%, 3 personal fouls and a +9 and plus minus. He's just a good shooter. He understands how to get where he wants to on the court. He knows the shots that he wants to take before his opponent can figure it out. And that has made him a good scorer for over 10 years in the league. And he still is a good scorer to this day. Trey Johnson, 23 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds. One of them was offensive, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 4-7 from the field, 57%, 1 or 2 from three, 50%, 1 or 1 from the free throw line, -1 and plus minus. It was just good to see him make shots. That's what you want him out there for, to either be passing or scoring. He actually helped on the boards too, so you have to like that. But he's still developing his confidence. He's still developing his shot and how he wants to be able to score. But he did enough to be, a good factor of how they could have won and stayed in this game. Marvin Bagley still being good. 16 minutes, 9 points, 2 rebounds, one on his offense, 1 assist, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers, 4 or 6 from the field, 56%, 1 or 1 from three, 1 personal foul, +3 and plus minus. Corey Kispert, 23 minutes, 8 points for him, 3 rebounds, 2 of them was offensive, 2 assists, 3 or 3 from the field, 100%, 2 or 2 from three, 1 personal foul, and a +9 and plus minus. Julian Champagnie played 3 minutes. He didn't do anything but go 0 or 2 from the free throw line and got a personal foul. He was a -11 and plus minus, and that was it for him. Cam Whitmore had a thunderous dunk in this game, but he went 1 of 5 from three, and he was going good to the basket, and he ended up getting fouled on the way there a couple times. He went 7 of 8 from the free throw line. That's 87%, 6 of 11 from the field, 54%, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a turnover. And he ended up being a +3 and plus minus. Malachi Branham played 0 minutes. He played a couple seconds, didn't do anything because of that. And Carlton Bub Carrington, 35 minutes, 11 points, 7 rebounds, one of them was offensive, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 4 or 7 from the field, 3 or 5 from three, and 5 personal fouls and a -11 and plus minus. 47 rebounds, 26 assists, 10 steals, 6 blocks, 20 turnovers, 50 of 95, 52% from the field, 15 of 38, 39% from three, 20 of 26, 76% from the free throw line, and 28 personal fouls. And then the Pistons, they was really getting themselves in some problems, and a lot of it was because of themselves. They missed a lot of opportunities in this game, and they did also turn the ball over a whole lot in this game. Not as much as the Wizards, but we don't really expect the Wizards to really know what they're doing a lot of the time, unless the ball is in CJ hands or Chris Middleton, because at least they know the shots they want to take, and at least they can read the floor offensively well too. But they're slower now, and they're not the same players that they used to be. And the Pistons, they are very fast, very long, and very athletic. And they have a guy named Cade Cunningham that can really make it look easy for everybody, including himself. And that he did. He played 45 minutes, which was the most from the Pistons. Of course, you want your best player on the court as much as you can, especially when you're trailing. 46 points, 12 rebounds, 5 of them was offensive, 11 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 14 of 45 from the field, 31%. That was bad. 2 of 11, 18% from three, but he did go 16 of 18 from the free throw line. That's 88% with only 4 personal fouls and 2 turnovers. I mean, the guy filled up the stat sheet crazy. 11 assists, 12 rebounds, 5 of them offensive, in 5 steals, in 2 blocks. Those are video game numbers. He didn't shoot the ball that great, but he did do a lot of other things right, and his teammates needed it because they're not really great at creating their own shot. He don't really have too many players on the roster that can do that, so he's really the primary decision maker on everything since he's been a rookie for this team. You can say throughout his entire career, whether that's school, younger school, or even college. This has been his career, and this team is built around that. Duncan Robinson, 38 minutes, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 5 of 11 from the field, 45%, 3 of 9 from three, 33%, 1 personal foul. He was a +1 and plus minus. He hit a nice three, but he kept finding ways to score, even if it wasn't a 3-point shot. That was good, and that's why they gave him the money. That's why they gave him the contract, because they feel like he can come off screens and make plays, but also just be good at knocking down threes. He hasn't really shot the three ball as great as you thought he would, but that was a risk that you took too, because he's been an inconsistent guy, and I don't really blame him. Just shooting is tough, in general. But the person that didn't score in double figures like everybody else that was starting was Ronald Holland. 24 minutes, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 1 of 4 from the field, 25%, all of 3 from the 3 point line, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 personal fouls, and he was a minus 14 and plus minus. He didn't take a lot of shots. So he didn't really hurt the offense that much. Plus, the shots he took was threes. You didn't really think he was going to make them if he was the Wizards, and he didn't. But he also didn't get in the way. Jalen Duran was handling the ball, getting to his own shot, even hit a mid-range jumper in this game, but he also missed a wide-open dunk. But this was that type of game where things was a little strange and things was a little weird, but they still figured out how to win and keep their winning streak going strong. 40 minutes for Jalen Duran, 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 of his rebounds was offensive, so a double double. 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, 6 of 10 from the field, 7 of 11 from the free throw line, 63%, 2 personal fouls and a minus 6 and plus minus. Javante Green, 38 minutes, 11 points, 11 rebounds. He had a double double. 4 of them was offensive, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. 4 of 11 from the field, 36%, 1 of 5 from three, 20%, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, plus 10 in plus minus. And then Paul Reed, he came off the bench playing 13 minutes, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 4 was offensive, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 of 5 from the field, 80%, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 personal fouls, and a plus 8 and plus minus. I liked his rebounding. I liked his shot selection. It was just a great, well educated way to play the game of basketball. You can say the same thing about Dennis Jenkins. He took some tough ones, but he had to because either you take it or you lose. And he took it, he made it so they didn't lose. So it went hand in hand mentality wise. He played 34 minutes, which was the most off the bench. He finished with 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 was offensive, 3 assists, 4 steals, and he had 2 turnovers, 9 of 17 from the field, 52%, 4 of 6 from three, 66%, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 personal fouls, and a plus 8 and plus minus. Bobby Kittman, 7 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 of 4 from the field, 25%, 1 of 2 from three, 50%, 1 personal foul, and a minus 5 and plus minus. And then Chaz Lanier. Everybody off the bench did score, including Chaz Lanier. But he played the second most minutes off the bench with 27, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of them was offensive, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 of 7 from the field, 42%, 2 of 5 from three, 40%, and was a minus 2 and plus minus 50. Well, they ended up having 63 rebounds, which was way more than the Wizards. 27 assists, which was 1 more than the Wizards. 16 steals, which was 6 more. 5 blocks, that was 1 less than the Wizards, and 14 turnovers, which was actually 6 less than the Wizards, which was good. 47 of 114 shots. They took more shots than the Wizards because they out offensive rebounded them by 17. And they ended up only shooting 41%, which was lower than the Wizards, but they had so many opportunities to score. 13 of 41. They ended up shooting 31% from three, 30 of 38 from the free throw line. That's 78%, which was better than the Wizards. Plus, they took 12 more free throws. So, they also committed 18 personal fouls, which was 10 less than the Wizards. So, the Pistons should have won this game. They made it harder than they had to. They was giving up baskets. They was conceding them. They was thinking that we can just let them take shots and they're just going to miss them. And then the Wizards start feeling themselves. CJ started feeling himself. Then they really started making it tougher for the Pistons to be able to win this one. They made it real tough for them to be able to close it out. But then opportunities after opportunities kept arising and kept coming in a favor of the Pistons, but they took advantage of them, and that ended up allowing them to win this game. Plus, they was rebounding and playing harder than as they should have the entire game, and they would have won this one easier. But this game was a Piston game that they should have won. They just made it more harder on themselves to get it. And that can be a problem against better teams in the future as this season continues. You don't want to find yourself in these situations. You can do it against the Wizards. You can't do it against a lot of other teams in the NBA. And that's something that they got to pay attention to. That's something they have to watch. I know they don't have all their players back. I know that this is a roster that people don't think is going to really be amazing when it comes to record or when it comes to their playoff performances, but they're earning love, they're earning respect because they're winning games. and that's something that they wasn't doing 3 4 years ago, but that's something that they have done last year and so far this year. So I'm loving what they're about. I'm loving what they're doing, but you can still see some immaturity. You can still see some things that they got to clean up. You still see some things that they got to fix mentality wise, and you do see the fact that K can be too much. And it's not him, it's just how the team goes. The team goes how K goes. And K didn't really have it going a lot of this game, especially offensively when it came to scoring the basketball. But he stepped up and made some big shots and some big plays. But if he would have shot it more efficiently and would have shot it better, they wouldn't be in them situations in the first place. And you have to look at it that way if you want to win the championship, especially with Cade as your best player. These are things you're gonna have to surround them with. These are things you're gonna have to go out there and get. Um, while he still wants to be a Pistons and you still want him to be a Piston. So just remember that as a fan of the Pistons and as a fan of the game of basketball, we all got a limited run. We all want to get to the top of the mountain. We all want to prove what we want to prove. And it's a process that you have to go through to be able to accomplish and do those things, especially if you're a deep thinker and a learner like, hey, he didn't get this great overnight. He kept wanting it. He kept putting in the work to get it. And now he has more work to put in if he wants to get to that good to great level. And that's being top four in the East, not top six. So they're close on it. They're proving that they can do it. We just have to see what they do against the better teams and see if they can beat them teams consistently. Then we'll start looking at them differently again because we have more respect for the team and what they are about. But that comes with the territory. He gets it. He knows it, and the team does too. But this game was a little too sloppy, too lazy, and just frustrating sometimes. And you can see it on K face, like, nah, they left him open, or nah, we couldn't do this, or nah, he didn't do this, nah, you didn't do this, nah, we need to do that. And that's what you have to do from the start of the game all the way to the finish if you want to go from good to great. Comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to get the analysis when it first comes out. I also do conversation videos just like this about various NBA only topics. I'll do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock draft and draft coverage too. So you love that type of content. I got over 3,000 plus videos already on my channel that you can watch right now and enjoy. And if you love that type of stuff, I also try to upload videos every day throughout the day to always give you something to watch and look forward to when it comes to NBA and basketball content. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for appreciating the content for what it is. Continuing to come back and make time for me when it comes to basketball and what I have to show you and what I have to tell you about it. Other than that, I'm gone for now. Y'all stay blessed up. Peace. And I'll see you guys later today, hopefully with more analysis.